With the release of the Bob's Burger movie coming out the last weekend, I've decided to rank my top 10 favourite Bob's Burger episodes. And in 10th place is Shish Kabob. And in this episode is Tina's 13th birthday and she's having a party. However, the family don't have enough money to be able to pay for the party and everything that she wants in it. So Bob decides to get a second job as a taxi driver at night. And while this is happening, Tina's crush Jimmy Jr. isn't allowed to go to her party. Bob ends up having to shave off his moustache whilst also blackmailing Jimmy Pesto to save the day. And what I like about this episode is that it's one of the beginning episodes, but we're still getting to know the characters. We're still getting to know what each character individually like, with Tina and also her crush with Jimmy Jr. Also getting to see the rivalry between Jimmy Pesto and Bob as well. Also what I like about this episode is that we get to see Bob in a different setting within the cab, and you get to see him with the regulars as well, interacting with them, getting drunk with them, trying drugs with them, and also how it all ends up tying back in to allowing Jimmy Jr. to go to Tina's party. In 9th place is the Oda games. With Mr. Fish Oda raising the rent up prices, Bob and the rest of the tenants go to Mr. Fish Oda's house to have a rent strike. However, end up competing to see who can take money off their rent. And what I like about this episode is that it's a very different episode compared to the episodes that we normally get. And as it's based off the Hunger Games, having the characters fight it out with the water balloon fight to see who can lose the money off their rent and while the rest pay the increased price. And having Bob being the one against it, then having him winning it, and then convincing everyone after he's won it to come together in the end to say the rent's too high. Also having the kids doing their thing in the garden with the water balloon fight was really fun as well. And having the in competition with Jimmy Pesto and Bob as well. 8th place is World Wolf 2, The Wolfing In. With Felix holding Mr. Fish Oda and Bob captive, it's up to Linda and the kids to try and save Bob. And what makes this episode good is having Bob with his phone trying to communicate towards the family and them trying to interpret what he means, sending the pictures, having the messages as well, whilst they're also in danger with the tide coming in. In 7th place is the Taking of Fun Time 1, 2, 3. Help from Mr. Fish Oda, Louise, Tina and Jean have a plan together to get the grand prize, which is the buggy, at the local arcade. During this, they get a lot of their school friends to come along and to steal the prize. What makes this a good episode is them coming up with the plan and them having that plan actually as a decoy so that they can go and steal the mammoth as well, as they know that Mr. Fish Oda wasn't really trying to help them. Whilst we also had Teddy giving Linda and Bob a chicken that they didn't really want and end up having an egg at the end of the day. And in 6th place is Eat, Spray, Linda. And as it's Linda's birthday, Bob's preparing a homemade spa for Linda. And whilst they're running behind and Linda's getting bored waiting for them, she goes off to the supermarket. And whilst there, she leaves her phone, her wallet and her keys locked in the car. With Bob, Teddy and the kids going off to find Linda. And what makes this another good episode is just Bob getting to know more about Linda, more about her relationship with the kids, as she does stuff individually with the kids as well. And also, as always, the jokes are funny. Also, Linda's interaction with everyone when her day is going from bad to worse, and she's getting further away from home, and her journey back to the house as well. From being on the bus to messing up the street party, and then breaking her way into her own house. Then at the end of the day, saying that she really enjoyed the day, and saying she wanted to do this every year. 5th place is Turkey in a Can. With Gail visiting the family, Bob's trying to get his turkey prepared, whilst finding out that the turkey's been stuffed into the toilet, and having to find out who's the one that's been putting it into the toilet. Trying to find out who's putting the turkey into the toilet and why they're doing it, and why they all blame Louise for doing it, ended up finding out it was Bob that's the one doing it, is a great way to have the episode turn out. And whilst this is happening, we also have Tina trying to sit on the grown-up table for Thanksgiving. In 4th place is mother-daughter Laser Razor. With Linda thinking that Louise hates her, she drags her out to an 8-hour seminar at Modo time, where Louise's nemesis Logan shows up, with Louise coming up with her plan to escape and ending up at the laser tag, whilst Linda trying to get the most out of the day and ending up going towards laser tag with each other and end up having that connection in the end. Whilst Tina's also having a problem with overhearing some girls talking about having hairy legs and wanting to get her legs shaved. And with Linda out, Bob has to replace her, and with Tina being scared, Bob also has to get his legs wrapped, and that makes for a fun journey as well, all to end up Tina realising that she doesn't want to get her legs wrapped in the end. In third place is the broadcast Wagstaff School News. Wagstaff School starts its own news station, and Tina wants to be the anchor. However, Tammy edges her out for it, and when Tina smells the scoop, Louise helps her discover the trail, and also we have Jean imitating Bob and copying Bob in what he does, and that's also really good as well. Apart from the A plotline, the B plotline is really good. Having Jean copying Bob, having Bob being so adamant he shouldn't be doing this, but everyone else saying, yeah, Jean, this is great. It just makes for a really funny plotline. Also in the end, having Zeke on top of the stage, looking down, just about to do a poo with Louise trying to push Tammy towards it. And in second place is The Haunting, and it's Halloween, and Louise says that she's never been scared, and that haunted houses are dumb because she sees every potential scare coming from a mile away. So to get her this year, the family have a plan to scare Louise by hiring out a house, having a bad haunted house so it brings down Louise's expectations, just to have the real surprise coming at the end. And by having the whole family in on it as well, this made it even better. Also at the end by having that Boys to Now song, which was like a thriller spin-off as well. First place is Glued, Where's My Bob? This is the 100th episode of Bob's Burger. The kids are doing a prank on each other, and it happens to be on the same day that Bob's going to have an interview with this journalist. And with Bob getting stuck to the toilet, the family try to help him get off the toilet in time for this interview. And also what makes this great is when Jimmy Presto comes in, tells the whole neighbourhood, and the whole neighbourhood come to the burger to see Bob on the toilet. The jokes about it are great as well. Also seeing all the different solutions to try and get Bob off the toilet, to when the actual journalists come and they actually see what's happened, and actually they're not as important, they're just doing this interview as a favour. To Louise actually admitting that yeah, it was her fault and taking responsibility for it. To the end of the show when they actually do end up making a newspaper and getting a good review. So those are my top 10 favourite episodes of Bob's Burger. So let me know down below what are yours. Also, I've done my quick reaction, so if you want to see my quick thoughts on the Bob's Burger movie, check the video up here next.